Hello there, wonderful people. Life after 55 can be a time of transformation, reflection, and unexpected joy. Many of us find ourselves single later in life, whether by choice, through loss, or a new chapter after a long relationship. And if you're one of those who might feel a little unsure or apprehensive about this stage, I want to invite you to consider something truly powerful. What if life, in fact, could be better when you're single after 55? I know it might sound surprising at first. After all, we've been taught that relationships and companionship are the ultimate paths to happiness. But what if that's not the whole story? Today, I want to take you through 13 reasons why life can be more fulfilling, freeing, and rewarding when you're flying solo at this point in life. And along the way, I'll share real stories, personal insights, and reflections from people who have found peace and freedom in this new phase of life. So, stay with me until the end, and let's explore how this time in life can be the best yet. 1. Freedom from judgment and criticism. Do you remember the days when your every move was being observed and analysed? Perhaps it was by a partner, a spouse, or someone close to you. As we get older, our relationships become a blend of shared habits and routines, but sometimes these can come with unspoken judgments and criticisms. Maybe you've been told to dress better or watch your health, and even though it's all coming from a place of concern, it can feel overwhelming. You might have felt like you were always trying to meet someone else's expectations, whether for your appearance, behavior, or even your career choices. When you're single, you break free from these judgments. There's no one telling you what to wear, how to spend your time, or how you should behave. You get to define yourself on your own terms. You get to live the life that feels right to you. You can choose to wear comfortable clothes without worrying if they're fashionable, take a nap when you need to, and make decisions based solely on what feels good for you. For example, Joan, a 60-year-old artist, had been in a long marriage where she often felt scrutinized for her unconventional style. Since her divorce, she has rediscovered her love for painting, traveling to new places, and embracing her individuality. She now lives her life freely, without the need to justify her choices to anyone. How would it feel for you to make every decision based on your own happiness? 2. Emotional labor. No more carrying the weight. It's easy to forget how emotionally demanding a long-term relationship can be. In many marriages or partnerships, one person often takes on the responsibility of managing both their own emotions and the emotional needs of their partner. This is called emotional labor, and it can be exhausting. Whether it's comforting your partner after a stressful day, resolving conflicts, or being the mediator in a family issue, the emotional burden can be overwhelming. When you're single, you're free from that emotional responsibility. You don't have to play the role of the caretaker or the constant emotional support for someone else. Instead, you can focus on your own emotional well-being. You have the space to process your feelings, manage your stress, and heal without feeling like you need to constantly check in on someone else. Take Maria, for example, a 55-year-old teacher. After years of emotional labor in her marriage, she realized how much energy she was expending on her partner's emotional needs, leaving little for herself. Now that she's single, Maria has been able to pursue her hobbies and focus on her mental health, feeling lighter and more balanced. 3. Financial independence. No more compromises. One of the most liberating aspects of being single after 55 is financial independence. Let's be honest, money is one of the most common sources of tension in relationships. Whether it's deciding how to budget for a vacation, save for the future, or even how much to spend on everyday needs, finances can lead to serious disagreements. When you're single, the decisions are entirely in your hands. You control where your money goes and how you choose to spend it. Want to invest in a dream hobby, donate to a cause that matters to you, or splurge on a spontaneous trip? You can do it without needing anyone's approval. Take Helen, a 62-year-old retiree who had always put her husband's financial priorities first. After her divorce, she invested in a small photography business that has since grown into a passion project. She travels whenever she wants, without worrying about balancing a joint budget. How would it feel to be the sole decision-maker when it comes to your money? Fourth, reconnecting with children, building stronger bonds. Being single after 55 also offers a unique chance to rediscover your relationship with your children. In a marriage or partnership, your parenting approach is often influenced by your spouse's perspective, and sometimes you may have compromised on decisions to keep the peace. However, when you're single, especially after your children are grown, you can relate to them on your own terms. Rachel, a 58-year-old mother of two, found that after her divorce, she was able to connect with her children in a more authentic and supportive way. She didn't have to consult with her ex-partner about parenting decisions, and she was able to offer guidance without any underlying tension or second-guessing. This shift created a deeper, more trusting bond with her children, now adults, and allowed her to be a calming, wise influence in their lives. Isn't it incredible to think how much easier it can be to build a stronger, more honest connection with your children once you're no longer tied to the complexities of a marital relationship? 5. Intimacy on your own terms. One of the biggest changes you might notice when you're single after 55 is how much simpler intimacy can be. In a long-term relationship, intimacy often becomes tangled with emotional expectations, negotiations, and even pressures. Whether it's compromising on when or how intimacy happens, or feeling like it's an obligation rather than a choice, the joy of physical connection can sometimes fade. When you're single, intimacy is entirely your choice. You decide when you want it, with whom, and how it happens. There's no pressure to engage in intimacy just to keep the peace or meet expectations. You can focus on your own desires and enjoy the freedom of physical connection without the emotional complexity. Sarah, a 60-year-old woman, found freedom in this simplicity. After her divorce, she enjoyed casual, uncomplicated connections when she wanted, but also embraced the peace that came with not having to navigate the complexities of a long-term, intimate relationship. 6. Living life on your own terms. As we age, we often spend decades living for others, raising children, managing households, and compromising in relationships. But when you're single after 55, you get to make all your own choices. You decide how you spend your time, whether it's traveling, pursuing a new hobby, or simply enjoying a quiet evening at home. David, a 64-year-old widower, decided to take up sailing after his wife passed away. He had always loved the idea of being on the water, but never had the time or opportunity while balancing a family and marriage. Now, he sails every weekend, enjoying the freedom of a life that revolves entirely around his own passions. 7. A stronger sense of self. When you're in a long-term relationship, your identity can sometimes become entwined with your partner's. You might forget who you are as an individual and what you truly desire. But when you're single after 55, you have the opportunity to rediscover who you really are. Janet, a 57-year-old woman, spent 30 years of her life identifying primarily as a wife and mother. After her divorce, she took a year off to focus entirely on herself. She explored new hobbies, made new friends, and rediscovered her love for dancing. This journey of self-discovery led to a newfound confidence, as Janet learned to embrace her independence and trust herself in ways she never had before. 8. No more negotiating. The small stuff. Living with a partner often means negotiating every little detail. What to have for dinner, what time to go to bed, how to arrange the furniture. These small compromises can add up and wear you down over time. When you're single, there's no more negotiation. You get to make decisions based purely on what you want. Whether it's deciding on what to eat for dinner or when to start a new project, everything is on your terms. 9. Peace and quiet, a sanctuary of your own. In a world that often feels overwhelmingly noisy and fast-paced, finding moments of peace and quiet is invaluable. When you're single after 55, you have the unique opportunity to create a sanctuary of calm in your life. Unlike in a relationship where shared spaces and constant interaction can sometimes lead to perpetual activity, being single allows you to curate your environment to suit your personal need for tranquility. Imagine waking up to the sound of birds chirping, enjoying your morning coffee in silence, or taking a leisurely walk in the park without the hustle and bustle that often accompanies shared living spaces. This peace and quiet are not just about physical silence, but also about mental clarity. Without the constant engagement required in a partnership, you can take the time to reflect, meditate, and simply enjoy your own company. Example: Eleanor, a 59-year-old librarian, found that after her divorce she could transform her home into a true sanctuary. She set up a cozy reading nook by the window where she spends hours lost in books or journaling her thoughts. This personal space has become her refuge, allowing her to recharge and find inner peace every day. 10. Financial freedom. You call the shots. Financial independence is one of the most empowering aspects of being single after 55. When you're in a relationship, financial decisions often involve negotiations and compromises. Whether it's budgeting for a vacation, investing in retirement, or managing everyday expenses, having a partner means your financial priorities are intertwined with theirs. Being single means you have complete control over your finances. You can decide exactly how to allocate your resources without needing to consult anyone else. This level of autonomy allows you to pursue your financial goals with clarity and purpose. Whether you want to invest in a new business venture, donate to a charity close to your heart, or simply save for your future, the decisions are entirely yours. Frank, a 63-year-old retired engineer, always dreamed of starting his own woodworking business. While he was married, he often had to put his entrepreneurial aspirations on hold to support his family's financial needs. After becoming single, Frank was finally able to invest his savings into the business. Today, his workshop is thriving, and he finds immense satisfaction in creating handcrafted furniture that brings joy to others. If you had complete control over your finances, what would you choose to invest in or save for? How would you prioritize your financial goals? 11. Rediscovering old hobbies and exploring new interests. One of the greatest joys of being single later in life is the freedom to dive back into hobbies and interests you may have set aside during the years of marriage or partnership. Whether it was due to raising children, managing a household, or simply compromising with a partner, many people find that they've lost touch with activities that once brought them immense joy. Now, being single provides the perfect opportunity to rediscover those passions. Whether it's painting, gardening, writing, hiking, or even something as adventurous as learning a new language or taking up photography, you have the time and space to fully immerse yourself in these activities. This not only enriches your life, but also contributes to personal growth and fulfillment. Linda, a 60-year-old former accountant, had always loved gardening, but had little time for it during her busy years of raising a family and working full-time. After her divorce, Linda transformed her backyard into a vibrant garden, experimenting with different plants and designs. She even started a small community garden project, sharing her green thumb with neighbours and finding joy in nurturing life and beauty. Question for you: what hobbies or interests have you put aside over the years? How would you like to reconnect with or explore new activities that excite you? 12. Your home, your sanctuary. Your home should be a place where you feel completely comfortable and at peace. However, in a relationship, your living space often becomes a shared environment where decisions about decor, layout, and usage are negotiated. These compromises can sometimes make the space feel less personal and less reflective of your own tastes and preferences. When you're single, your home becomes entirely your own sanctuary. You have the freedom to decorate, organize, and utilize your space exactly how you envision it. Whether you want to turn a spare bedroom into a personal library, an art studio, or simply a place to relax, the choice is entirely yours. This personal touch not only makes your home more comfortable, but also deeply satisfying. Example: Grace, a 58-year-old retired nurse, always dreamed of having a dedicated art studio. While she was married, space was often limited and compromises had to be made. After becoming single, Grace transformed her basement into a vibrant art studio where she spends her days painting and creating. This space has become a crucial part of her identity and a source of immense joy and creativity. How would you design your ideal living space? What changes would you make to create a home that truly reflects your personality and needs? 13. A social life on your terms. Being single allows you to redefine your social life in a way that best suits your personal preferences and interests. In a relationship, your social interactions often revolve around shared friends and activities that both partners enjoy. While this can be fulfilling, it also means that your social life is sometimes tied to your partner's preferences and schedules. When you're single, you have the freedom to curate your own social circle. You can choose who to spend time with, when to engage in social activities, and how often to meet up with friends. This autonomy allows you to build more meaningful and fulfilling relationships based on mutual interests and values. Example: Tom, a 65-year-old retired teacher, found that after his wife passed away, he had the opportunity to reconnect with old friends and make new ones who share his love for hiking and photography. He joined local clubs and groups that align with his interests, leading to a richer and more vibrant social life. These connections have brought him immense joy and a sense of community that he deeply values. Question for you: how do you envision your ideal social life? What types of friendships and social activities would bring you the most fulfillment? Conclusion: embrace the freedom of singlehood. Embracing singlehood after 55 can open doors to a world of opportunities for personal growth, financial independence, and deep, meaningful relationships. Whether it's rediscovering old passions, exploring new interests, enjoying financial freedom, or simply finding peace and quiet in your own company, this stage of life holds immense potential for happiness and fulfillment. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the 13 reasons why life is better when you're single after 55. Whether you're currently single or considering this path, remember that this phase of life can be one of the most empowering and enriching experiences you can have. Embrace the freedom, pursue your passions, and cultivate relationships that bring you joy and fulfillment. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Have you found freedom and fulfillment in singlehood later in life? Share your stories in the comments below. Your insights can inspire and support others who are navigating this path. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with others who might benefit from these insights. Let's build a community of support and encouragement for those embracing the beauty of single life after 55.